Hey, welcome to another episode of Curious Intern, my podcast. How was your week? How was your day? How was your more hours? How were this minutes? How were the seconds of, I think I should probably calculate how many days in a week turn into hours and stuff. I beg that stress. But regardless, how was this in the last time you listened to me? So how have you been? I really am curious about that. Share with me. Do not give me the answer. It's like a basic rule of our podcast. Fine, great, good, great are like 3 basic summary answers that we do not want. Okay? So besides that, I just wanted to know how you are. So this is Curious Intern, another episode in the year 2023. I think this is like my 3rd episode, right? Please clap for me wherever you are. I am doing it. And you are also doing it for listening to me, for listening so far. The last one I did, it was not just me on the podcast, right? It was me and someone else. And I hope you guys learned a lot from it, because that person was really coming from the background of how, past 2 years has been. But regardless, okay, let's just jump right into it. Wait, why are we jumping? We're not jumping. Regardless, how was the first episode you ever listened to in this year? If I recall, which I have to recall since I'm the one that recorded the episode, it was plans, themes, and goals, where we're like sharing how we want to be planning, or why it's like necessary to have a goal or theme, or a sense of direction where you're going. Because if you're in this year, if at this point in your year you've not actually had a direction for the month, January is almost over, so let's just skip to February now. So plan for your February, okay? So now, there's something that I want to share. Now, I have shared it with some friends, I think this week, for the past week. That was something I did in the week, apart from going to work and realizing that Lagos is really a country of its own. That will be shared in another episode. Like, you guys need to know the full gist of how Lagos, I feel, is becoming a country. Besides, that's my opinion. Okay, so back to what I was talking about with other people. The question came, and the Holy Spirit asked me, because I have to say it's Holy Spirit, because I can't really say the intuition. It was my spirit and the spirit were conversing. I was in the bus. Really, the best podcast episodes, I'm telling you guys, really come to me when I'm in the bus. Lately, I've just been enjoying public transportation. It's stressful, but there's just a whole content giver. Like, public transportation gives me content, guys. Anyway, so what is your selling point was the question I was asked, or that came up in the conversation I was having. And I was like, okay, what are you trying to ask me? Because the first thing, the moment he asked me, I was like, my height. I think that question came up because it's not the first, second, or third, or fourth, fifth time I would walk and somebody would notice me because of my height. Oh, if you're wondering, I'm just 5'11". No, I am not that tall. Okay, I'm tall for like an average girl. So, but basically, I know girls that are taller than me. So like, it was just always it's a wonder to me when people see me and they're like, wow, your height. I don't like waist. Wow, I just got attracted because of your height. All that. But I'm not here to talk about you being flattered. But I asked a couple of friends. One did not give me a reasonable answer. One was busy asking me, why am I asking? Seriously, guys, if I ask you a question, just give me an answer. Why are you asking me why I'm asking you? I would probably do that too, but seriously, just answer me. I would still give you an answer. So anyway, the another person told me her face. She literally said her face is nice, so I got that. And then another person said, probably he's sweet and kind, character, or he's very humble or something like that. So the question becomes, what is your selling point? That is the main thing. And the first thing that comes to mind is that what attracts people to you, right? That's the first thing that comes to your mind when somebody asks you what's your selling point. Because when I asked this guy what's your selling point, he was very suspicious of me. I think he doesn't know, which is another thing. I don't think people really know that. But I want to put it as this. because we're talking about linking it with my first podcast. It's plans, goals, themes. I want us to be really directed this year. So I'm not just asking, when I ask the question or when somebody asks you what's your selling point, as far as it is not a pickup line, I don't want you to just narrow it down or let it be on the surface level that somebody's saying what's like your favorite feature that everybody likes. No. I want us to think about it like, what's your market value? What makes people want to talk to you first? Or what can make someone probably interested in whatever you want to sell to them? When they say you're selling something to someone, it doesn't necessarily mean products, right? You could be selling an idea, a thought, a plan, anything. So it's just like telling somebody about something else, something you have, and the person willing to listen to you. That's pretty much what I believe is you selling something to that person. So what is your selling? What is your market value? Come across, or someone brings you to the market and puts you in front of their shop and expects to sell you off. So what do you think that person is selling? So for me, it's my height. I am not saying this based on, it's pickup lines. But I found out that when I walk into a room, my height draws attention. And so when it draws attention, if I could use that to my advantage and say something, everybody's already looking at me. I've gotten their attention by, standing there and then, pretty much standing there. Then the next thing I've realized is my voice. I don't know, but my voice is quite unique. Unique as it belongs to me. Everybody's voice is unique to them. There are really some people that have that tiny soprano voices. Anyway, so when I open my mouth to talk or say something, it allows, like, people listen. Now, at some point, if I'm saying something and it doesn't make sense, that could really just send their minds away. But I've already gotten their attention, and whatever I want to say is up to me at that point. So that is my selling point: my height and my voice. And by the grace of God, I'm using my voice already. My height has been quite useful. I'm a nurse. And when I walk into the hospital wards and the patients see me, they pretty much just like, who is this tall nurse? So I'm already selling the health. Like, I'm selling health to them. So they're not afraid of me. They're just very curious of, wow, you're tall. And then when I now talk to them, they're like, this person is also Igbo, like, because of the way I talk, as if I didn't grow up in the West anyway. So I work here in Lagos, so they really expect me to be speaking Yoruba to them all the time. So when I don't speak in Yoruba, they're like, they try to speak back to me in English, and then everything. It's very funny. But anyway, that's just what I wanted to bring out today. What is your market value? So going into this year with your plan, if you've already made some plans, you've already reading out some goals, you already have a theme in mind, I want you to think about what is your person bringing to the table. For example, you want to start a business in selling socks, perhaps. Now, you as a person, what can you do? What is it that attracts people to you? The fact that, like, now, some people have a lot of friends and they don't even know how come they have a lot of friends. Probably because they're very sociable. Their personality is just very amazing, that attracts a lot of people to them. And that's it. They should use that to their advantage. So for a person who wants to sell socks and has a good has an ability to attract people to him, already kind of has it solved. Now the only thing is narrowing is what do they call that word? Narrowing is I can't, for lack of a better word, people that want to buy the socks. I think you guys will know the word. I really cannot remember the word right now. I should have Googled it. But yes, just know what attracts you to others and use it to your advantage. I was in the bus and I was like, even God has a market value. Like, why would a normal human being born into this world worship God? That's because God is God. Like, he himself being God is already a market value that he's placed out there and you want to rush to him. That's if you have an understanding, because some people are seeing and just passing by. But he has a market value. That's why people still go to church, give their lives to Christ, and serve God. please and please, nobody should go and quote me and say, I listened to a podcast though, and they said God can be on market. I'm not saying anybody is buying God. I'm just saying there's value placed on God, or God is valued to that point that and he made it all by himself. He literally created that value for himself. And if we have the Spirit of God in us, we're created in his image and likeness, it definitely means there's a value each of us can place on ourselves. I place the value on myself that I'm not just saying, because my height and my voice, those are values to me. Okay, but I'm saying I place the value on myself, and I'm going to use it to work out whatever plans I have this year. So I want you to place a value on your selling point. I want you to look at your life so far, how the highs, what exactly has been happening, the high time that how did you get to that point? For me now, how I really got to understand that it was my height and my voice was because not once, I said it before, not once, twice, more than 5-6 times, both male and female. Please, I am not saying the selling point is specific to gender. This thing is both sides. Okay, it's your selling point when the two gender can recognize it in you. So yeah, for me, it was really recognized. I mean, both females and males could recognize that, even my voice. So yeah, that's for me. So if you're asking me why is this so important, or if you're thinking why is it so important to know what your selling point, please, it boosts your self-esteem. I mean, I feel good when I know that somebody comes to me and like, wow, I like your height, or wow, I like your voice. It makes me smile. It's just something added to my self-esteem that I already have before. So that's it. Another thing, it helps you to reevaluate things in your life. Maybe at that moment you're going through something, and then somebody just says something nice to you, or something just attracts you to that person. That's not the first or the second or the third time that you've heard it. You would go back home and just be like, wow, okay, this is not the first time. They said they like my writing. My handwriting is really nice. Oh yeah, I mean it. Your handwriting can be a selling point. Yes. So just really use it. I really feel like the knowledge of knowing that is important. Okay? Anyway, thank you for listening to my wonderful podcast, because it is wonderful. It's an insight I got that I decided to share with you all. I was just curious about it, and I got an answer about it. I mean, that's what this whole podcast is about. I share my thoughts, and you guys give me opinions on them in the comment section. Like, what is the Q&A for in Spotify? Like, I write questions. Okay, maybe it's my fault, I don't really write it, but I'm gonna be writing using that space very well. So you listen to my podcast, you see the question, you give me an answer, and I'll look back at the response in one episode of one title podcast. I would share the answer, and if you're asking me a question, I would answer the question. That's just how it goes. So please do give your comments in the Q&A below, and I just wanted you to answer this question. How can, after listening to this podcast though, the question, I'm going to still put it in the Q&A section, but just give me your answer, okay? How can your selling point, so you're going to tell me what your selling point is, help you this year? So whatever plans you have for this year, how can your selling point help you this year? Okay? Then something I want to tell you guys to do for me, okay? This is 2023, guys. I am going to be serious. You guys have to be serious with me too. Share this podcast. It can't just be me. I don't have as many friends as you do. I don't know, but just keep sharing. And do you know how amazing it is when I put on it? It's on Instagram, guys. Curious Intern is on Instagram. If I haven't followed you, that's because, well, I don't know you. Oh my god. Yeah. So just follow on Instagram. So Curious Intern, pretty much everywhere Curious Intern, with my beautiful logo. I think the first picture I used for my birthday podcast, that's what I pretty much use as Curious Intern logo now. So that's the face. So Curious Intern on Instagram, on Spotify, on Google Podcast, on Radio Public, soon on Apple, because I think I need to get into the Apple space. Too many iPhone users in this world, and so all of them have to listen to my podcast soon. We'll still be trying to get into tiny spaces. Facebook is scary, guys, but I think I have to open it too. Facebook is scary, but I will. So yeah, on all social media platforms, share, like, follow, do the needful. I don't know how people on YouTube do this stuff, but do the needful, guys. Thank you so much for listening again. God bless you, fam. Soon we will have our name. I don't know, but we would have a fan club. I can feel it in my spirit. Bye, later.